Will Alex Mighten pick the United States or England? Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo and welcome to Tactical TV. Today we have another player bio video, and today's about Alex Mighten, the American-English dual national that plays for the English U20 squad, but has been rumored to switch to the United States very soon. No confirmation. We're going to dive into that in this video, but it has been rumored. We're going to dive into his whole story, how he grew up, he was born in America. We're going to talk about all that, and for that, I'm going to have the help of David Mighten. David Mighten is the older brother of Alex Mighten. He's going to talk about their childhood, soccer development, everything, including drop some hints whether he'll pick the US or England, and talk about his playing style. Now, when you're watching David Mighten in this video, I want you to comment down below. Did you get the feeling that Alex is going to pick the United States or he's going to pick England? Now, David Mighten also has a YouTube channel and does plenty of great soccer vlogs, so make sure to check the link down below to David Mighten's channel. Go show him some support as well. With that said, make sure to hit that like button. If we hit maybe 500 likes in this video or 700, something like that, Alex Mighten will pick the United States. I completely just made that up and it has absolutely nothing to do with Alex's decision. Let's play the intro and let's bring in David Mighten. All right, David, thank you very much for being here. For everyone that doesn't know, I already said it earlier in the video. David is Alex Mighten's older brother, also a soccer player. Unfortunately, he calls it football, so he'll say football. David, thank you.
Oh yeah, Filippo, thanks for having me on. First of all, let me talk about the elephant in the room. The England flags, they're actually my roommates, so don't take it as any like speculation for what Alex is gonna do. They're literally just flags.
I was about to say that's a very poor choice of background right there for this video.
Play my roommate.
Okay, so he dodged that bullet right there. We'll see if you can dodge other bullets throughout this one. But let's start with the first one. Let's start talking about a little bit your past with your brother as well. We're going to talk about yourself as well, but try to draw parallels of you guys growing up. And you were both born in Connecticut. Your dad worked for ESPN at the time, and then you moved back to England. Do you and Alex, or maybe you're a little bit older than Alex, 2 years, right?
Like 1.5.
1.5. So, okay, you guys are very close in age. Do you guys remember your time in the United States at all?
Well, me more so than Alex. I don't think Alex has much memory of it, but I do. I started to go to preschool, I think you call it, or is it kindergarten, something like that. I went there, so I have memories of that. My mum took a lot of photos of our old house and growing up, so I mainly associate the photos with the memories, but I remember having some fun times over there for sure.
Yeah, so you guys left the US very early to go back to England, and that's what I want to talk about right now. Talk about your childhood with Alex, and I'm looking down because I'm trying to follow with the questions that I have for you.
Yeah.
And talk about your childhood with Alex. You guys played soccer quite a bit or not together. You are a goalkeeper right now that plays in college in the United States. Alex is a winger and he's playing for Nottingham Forest. Can you talk about your childhood with him a little bit? How was it? You guys played together?
Oh, it was great. It was literally football, soccer, 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 soccer. I'm going to struggle not to say football, but it was soccer all the time. I think that love stemmed from firstly my dad. He was a big soccer guy. So he played for Nottingham Forest as a youth. He climbed the ranks, almost made it to the first team, but it wasn't meant to be. And then he started coaching in America. He went to it's called Trinity College in Connecticut. And through that coaching job, he got a job at ESPN, being an analyst on a show called, I think it was called Press Pass. So that's why we lived in America. And that's how our love for football came about, because our dad introduced it to us. And I'll say it carried on because it was just a fun thing to do. We didn't really play video games until we got a lot older. We would just go out and play football. As soon as we got home from school, it was football, football, football. I don't know if it's a thing in America, but in England, we have a lot of cages. It's like concrete pitches where you'd go out and some kids would already be playing games and they'll be a lot older than you. So you'd have to work up the courage to go ask them, oh, can we play? Can we play with you? And playing with older kids, it's always great. So me and Alex would go to parks, play with older kids. I don't know if you've how active you are on football YouTube, but there's a guy called Jack Blake who plays in the USL, and he makes a lot of soccer vlogs. We actually used to play with him quite a bit, and his dad, and it would just be a great time. And that's all we'd do every day.
That sounds a lot like Brazil. I grew up in Brazil a good
Yeah.
part of my life as well, and
Okay.
we have the so-called cages that you just mentioned, which
Yeah.
is pretty much futsal, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very close, small, technical.
Yeah. I didn't know that England had that too. That is interesting. It's something I would probably enjoy there if my knees still worked. Hopefully.
The knees. If it wasn't for the knees, you'd be pro.
If I wasn't for the knees, I would be better than Alex. No, no, definitely not. I had good knees when I was younger, it just wasn't good enough. But I so going back to here, did you and Alex? So Alex joined the Nottingham Forest Academy in 2009, from
Yeah.
the database I have. Did you ever play also in the academy with him, or was it something he took the path on his own?
No, because my dad used to play at Forest. He had quite a few people that he could call. So me and Alex actually went there together, um, and he did really well. And they decided to take him on. I didn't feel it as much as he did. I didn't enjoy that kind of setting, so I went back to play for my team because my dad was the coach of the team that we both played
Mhm.
for. So while Alex went to play for Forest, I went back to play with my dad and his team.
And you play now in college here in the U.S. Where do you play, if you don't
Yeah.
mind?
I play for the Mighten Mavericks. It's a school in Western New York, in Buffalo. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I'm loving the college experience.
Guys, we got one Mighten. We just need to get the other one now.
Oh, honestly, I'm in his ear all the time, telling him how much he'll love America.
Yeah. And we would love to have him too here. Major talent there in the championship, playing for Nottingham Forest, which many people forget this. I know Nottingham Forest has been out of the Premier League for a while, but this is a team that won the Champions League twice. It is a
In a
legendary
row,
club.
twice in a row. We've got
Yes.
so much history.
Now, one thing I also, from my research on Alex and everything, is that you guys have a close relationship with Des Walker, and he
Yep,
is a legendary center back, right, for England, or at least very famous in England. Played many
yep.
games for the English, played for Nottingham Forest as well. What's your relationship with him? You guys, has he helped even your development in soccer? Because you're playing college too. Did he also help yours and Alex's development in soccer? Even though he's a center back, so it's not the position you guys play, but how has he played a role?
Yeah, definitely. I think Des has been a huge part in both of us because, well, first of all, him and my dad go way back. When Des he came from London to Nottingham Forest. He lived with my grandma, so he lived with my dad and my grandma because they were like his host family. And from that, him and my dad were inseparable. They were almost like brothers. So because of that and how close they got, he's my oldest brother's godfather. So that's how that connection came about. And then how he's played a part in our development. I think it's not as much like on the pitch. We never went out and did sessions or anything like that. I think it was more he knows the game. He knows what Alex is going through now. He knows what he's going to go through, and it's more like a shoulder to somebody to talk to. Alex knows that if he ever needs advice, Des is always there. And Des has two sons that are playing professionally. One in the Championship with Coventry, and one in Italy. He's playing in the Serie B. So if Alex ever needs, or me, if we ever need someone to give us advice, he's always there. So I'd say it was more a mentor
Mentor,
thing. Yeah,
a mentor.
definitely. Yeah, more of a
Yeah,
mentor, definitely.
which having a close mentor is always good, especially that's something people often forget. We have kids that are 18, 19, 20, 21, they're
Yeah,
still kids, and you're having go for a professional level where you're facing adults at that point, right?
yeah,
25,
literally.
26. So it's definitely something, and it's good that you guys have someone like Des Walker to guide you in any moment you need, if needed, of course. Now, the next topic I want to talk about, which is one of the last ones, and then obviously we're gonna have to ask you a very important question. But the first,
Wonder what
this
that's
question
going
is.
to be.
So what I want to ask you is this: if you had to compare your brother specifically to a player that's a veteran or a retired player, and I'm not saying that you're saying that he's at that level. I'm talking
Yeah,
about playing
definitely.
style, right? You're not gonna. Let's say you say Neymar. It's like no, you're not saying he's Neymar. Just saying, oh, the way he plays, it's around that. He's a winger. Tell us what player do you say, hey, when I see my brother playing, it just kind of reminds me of that guy?
Well, growing up, when I'd get home from school, Alex would be watching Eden Hazard highlights. He's a huge fan of Eden Hazard, and I'd say that Alex has taken the most from his game out of anybody I can think of off the top of my head. Because a lot of players like Neymar they'll beat you with their trickery, kind of like sombrero flicks or elasticos and all that fancy stuff. But Hazard's more body movement. He'll throw you off with his body, quick changes of pace, and that is essentially what Alex's game is. He will keep you on your toes for the whole 90 minutes. If you're a defender, you can't switch off against him. The moment you switch off, he'll do you. So I think Eden Hazard, because of what he can do in terms of changing pace in his direction. Also with Alex, his biggest strengths is that he can go both ways. He's got a left foot that's as good as his right foot, and his right foot's his dominant foot, obviously. So if he's playing on the left, he can cut in, and he can also go down the line. And if he's playing on the right, he can do the same. He can go down the line and he can cut in. So it keeps defenders on their toes. If they don't know what he's going to do, it's really, really hard to defend against. So I'll get excited if I was an American national team fan.
Yeah, me too. And this is one thing I was actually going to ask you, and you responded to me too, because I saw highlights from Alex, and I tried watching Nottingham Forest because Ethan Horvath is playing there as well.
Oh yeah, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and I was trying to watch it. And I'm like, wait a sec. I thought Alex was a righty, and then he was going to his left in a very technical. It looked very good, and I was like, wait, is he a lefty? And it started to get me confused. But you just kind of answered that he's good with both feet. So
yeah, I think he's got more assists with his left than his right this season. So
yeah, that
go both ways.
So yeah, so he's technically a righty, but it seems like it doesn't really matter to him. Now the last question here, and put the drum roll. Which, okay, I'm gonna just be honest with people. There's a 0.1% chance that he's gonna give me an answer here. Is Alex gonna play for the United States, or he's staying with England? He's been playing with the English youth national team for the U15, U16, U17, U19, I believe, U20, all of them almost. Is he gonna switch?
Well, I was on the phone to Alex yesterday before I came on this podcast, and he told me that he's going to do something that will make him happy. I think whatever decision he makes will be a good decision. If it is England, then England's getting a great player. If it's America, America's getting a good player. All I want to say is the America 2020 World Cup would be 2026 World Cup would be it would be an amazing experience if he was able to play in his home country. But I don't want to be biased. His decision is his decision, so you're gonna have to wait out for that. You have to wait for it.
I kind of like that you're kind of like playing for the United States here, kind of like helping us. Like, hey, Alex, college here is cool. Maybe even tell him to come to college here.
I don't think the NCAA would like that.
Yeah, I don't think the NCAA is going to go, yeah, we're not going to take an English national team professional player here right now. Let's keep him out. But anyhow, regardless, yes, I agree with you. He has to make the decision based on what's best for him. And I think many things will play a role. It'll be career, obviously, where he sees better opportunities, where his heart is as well. That has to play a role in his decision. And hopefully, I guess the World Cup could be something charming. You're right about that, because playing the 1994 World Cup, from what many people say, well, it broke records of attendance. The United States, every time they host something, they want to make it bigger and better than everyone. And I think the 2026 World Cup is going to be very special. With that said, David, before we go, I do have to say one thing. Guys, David does have a YouTube channel as well, does some vlogging, even videos with Alex as well. Also, you guys should definitely subscribe. I'm putting the link on the description.
Oh, what a man. Make sure you subscribe. Whenever I'm back in the summer, me and Alex like to go and do some off-season work. So if you want to see the behind the scenes of how a professional soccer player prepares for a new season, make sure you check that link.
I'll make sure to share it too. So you're going to DM me and let me know when that happens. And guys, subscribe to David's channel. David, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, so you heard it from David Mighten. Now let's go through his bio, stats, and then I'll give you my opinion as well. Alexander Cole Mighten, born at April 11th of 2002, so he's currently 19. He's 1.71 meters tall. He is right-footed, but as David mentioned, he can play with his left just as well. Currently plays for Nottingham Forest. He is a winger. He's English-American, and his current market value is just $550,000, which most certainly will be updated, and he definitely would not leave the club for less than that. Probably a couple £1 million at least. Now, during his short professional career, and I guess academy as well. Alex Mighten only played for Nottingham Forest. So let's dive into his stats right there and current situation in the club. Currently for the club, he has 55 caps total, 3 goals and 2 assists. But look, he is just 19, so those 55 caps are quite impressive. Along with that, he only played 2,049 minutes, which in a per 90-minute basis, that is roughly 23 games total. So he essentially has 3 goals, 2 assists in 23 games at age 19 in the championship, which is pretty good. But stats aside, we need to do the eye test. And in the eye test, Alex most certainly passes it. He shows a lot of flashes of talent, ability in tight spaces. And look, he did break into the English youth system, which brings us to the next topic of this video. Let's talk about the English youth system that he's been a part of, and a little bit of my opinion if he's going to pick the United States or England. It's also important to point out that this season, he's been in and out of the starting 11, a lot of the times in the bench. But he is playing for the same club as Ethan Horvath. So let's hope he can talk a little bit to Alex and help us recruit if Greg already didn't get the job done. Maybe it'll be confirmed very soon. Now, for the English youth system, he has 30 caps and 8 goals, which is pretty good if you ask me. Those stats are across the England U15, U16, U17, U18, and U20 squads. Now, according to the Daily Mail, Mighten rejected a call for the English U20 squad this November of 2021 as he is eager to join the US men's national team after having talks with coach Greg Berhalter. Now, there hasn't been any confirmation from Alex Mighten. There haven't been any confirmations from Greg Berhalter, USSF, any of it. So we don't know how true this is. But if it is, we might be getting a very young, talented player. And look, I can't confirm or deny anything, but by having David Mighten here, he just gave me an impression that I think Alex will be with the United States. Let's keep our fingers crossed. There's nothing confirmed right there. Comment down below your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the like button before you go. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.